Hi, and welcome to the 8th episode of Get Involved Pittsburgh. My name is Tom Baker. I'm very proud to be your host again on the show. Thank you very much for tuning in, either on your channels. It's channel 21 in the city of Pittsburgh, channel 47, or through online. And Get Involved Pittsburgh is a little bit of everywhere these days, so we very much thank you for turning in. We have a great set of guests today. We have 6 guests coming up in just a little bit. I want to give you a few quick updates. It's now the fall of 2011, and it was a great summer for Get Involved. We actually became our own nonprofit, 501c3. It's a very fun feeling when you start out. 3.5 years ago, Get Involved started simply as my first book, Get Involved Making the Most of Your 20s and 30s. And to move to the point where we're now a 501c3, we have our service summit going on, Power Hour, Morning Mix. Our Fast Track Community Leaders program has graduated 21 participants. Things really well with Get Involved. And if you want to learn more about us, just check us out at getinvolvedinc.org. But I want to tell you all about the great guests that we have on here today. We have just a fantastic group. We have Miss Wheelchair USA, Miss Wheelchair America. Josie Badger is going to be with us on the show. Jay Speyerer is going to be with us. Al Borowski, Bonnie Budzowski. We have Dr. Eric Lauber that's going to be with us in just a moment, and Karen Litzinger. It's going to be a fantastic show. Hopefully episode 8 is going to be great, and we hope that you love it. And we're very proud as well to say a happy birthday to PC21, turning 25 years this fall, which is a great accomplishment. So congratulations to John Patterson and the whole staff and team here with PCTV 21. Things are going well with Big Brothers Big Sisters as well. As some of you know, I'm the VP of programs there. We serve over 1,100 children every year in the region. So if anyone watching at home is interested in being a big brother, being a big sister, or just potentially signing up your children. And we actually have a lot of kids that watch the show as well, in the public schools here in Pittsburgh. And it's actually the biggest fan base, I think, are the students in the public schools. So if students, if you're watching, if you want to get involved as well, please just let us know. Our website is bbbspittsburgh.org. So lots of great things going on. Big Brothers Big Sisters was named as one of the top 18 programs for quality in the country, received the Gold Standard Award. So things are just going great. Welcome back. Hope you've enjoyed our interviews with Bonnie Budzowski and Eric Lauber. Up next, we have the man that I called Mr. President for the last year. Jay Speyerer is here, our past president for National Speakers Association. Jay, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
All right, great. And Jay's actually the person that got me involved with NSA. I have a very close friend, Jeff Tobe, who I've known for many years, a past president as well of the chapter. Never got me involved. Jay and I all together, and you're the person that actually told me you should join this. So thank you very much for getting me involved.
Well, that was Lisa Spar's
Champion
yes.
Series. So you get the credit for anything good or bad that comes from my tenure here with NSA.
That's too much responsibility.
Too much responsibility. Okay, very good. Well, Jay, I want to talk a little bit about Legacy Road Communications. That's your company. Mm-hmm. What is Legacy Road Communications all about?
It's about communication. It's about showing people how to get out of the way of their own language so they can say what they really mean. Mm-hmm. Because so many times people think they're saying something, but their message isn't getting out. I see it on Facebook all the time. Now, people in business tend to use Facebook for communication, to keep their name out there.
Absolutely.
And I see it in something as simple as people wishing people a happy birthday. They'll say, "Happy birthday, hope this is the best year ever." Well, if this is the best year ever, that means this year is the best year ever. It's going to go downhill from here on.
Right.
So what they mean is the best year yet.
Right, that is true.
Just think about it.
I will think about it. I'm going to think about that the next time if I do a happy birthday message to somebody on Facebook.
Good, my work here is done.
Okay.
Oh, we're not done.
No, we got some more time. Because I want to talk about your books. You've got a couple books that have been out, and I know one just recently came out. Your first book, though, was Cat Got Your Thumb, right?
First book was The Stories of Our Days.
Right, Stories of Our Days. We're going to talk about kind of all your storytelling in just a minute. Okay. Cat Got Your Thumb then was your second book, right?
Cat Got Your Thumb was the second book. I owe Patty Kramer for that title because one of the lead essay is about communication, of course, but my thumb was bitten by a cat. And I should call it Cat Got Your Thumb. And I said, oh, well, wait, okay, yeah, so it worked out.
Okay, and what's Cat Got Your Thumb all about?
It's a compilation of columns and articles I had written over the past 2.5 years, and I put them all together in book form. And many of them do have kind of an animal theme to it.
Okay.
On Facebook, I'm kind of known as the animal guy.
Right. Well, you got competition. Karen Litzinger also is an animal person, though.
She
so
is,
we got some competition between the past president and the current president, I guess.
It's a competition.
Very friendly, very good.
But the metaphor can be animals.
Right.
So it's about for instance, in the second book is Cat Got Your Treadmill?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which I was inspired to write the lead essay by finding my cat lying on the treadmill one evening. And she was quite overweight at that time.
Right.
So I realized cats don't get irony. Otherwise, she would not be using a piece of exercise
she needs to get on
equipment
that treadmill is what you're
as
saying.
a barca lounger.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, very good. And that book, Got Your Treadmill, just came out recently, right?
Yes, just came out in December.
Okay. And what, again, about communications, about?
Communication, I also cover media.
Okay.
The fact that as much as I like the local newscasters and I like the local news, sometimes some interesting things happen there, and even national news.
Right.
And even I talked about this recently, the fact that in movies, in TV, if you see a scene that was supposedly shot at night, people are squinting.
Right.
Why are they squinting in the
shots
moonlight?
Right, absolutely.
Because it was shot day for
Right.
night in the middle of the day.
And why did we have snow in the city of Pittsburgh for Batman the last few weeks as well? So.
And why were they collecting it in cups and
Right.
saving it as souvenirs?
Well, yeah, people like to collect. Speaking of memories and keeping stories.
Good segue.
Good segue, right. So the stories of our days, and I think that you're a real expert on this topic of making sure that people are keeping their story and making sure that they can share it with generations to come. Tell us a little bit about your work with that.
We are Generation 1000 right now. And I say that because as a species, we've been speaking for 30,000 years. And that works out to be 1,000 generations.
Okay.
So we're pretty good at storytelling by now. But people could always, now we're at the refinement stage. We can, everybody knows it's the beginning, middle, and end, or the three parts of a story.
Right.
But what goes into each of those parts? And how much do you hold back? Because some people, I'm sure you've heard people tell stories where they're so eager to get the story out, they tell you what happened.
Right.
Oh, let me tell you about the time I jumped off the garage roof using an umbrella as a parachute and broke my leg. What's left?
Right.
There's nothing left to tell.
Sure. That is the story. Yeah, that's the
That's
end.
a
Right.
nutshell, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure you have some good stories as well. You were a professor, I believe, or a faculty member.
I was on the faculty at the Art Institute
for
of
25
Pittsburgh.
years or so, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you taught photography, communication, script writing, I believe?
Yes, script
Okay.
writing, nonlinear script writing also,
Okay.
which is how to tell a nonlinear story in content.
Okay.
And like when you come to a fork in the road and you have the character take either road, you have to write what happens when they go down both roads.
Right, great.
So the end user picks what they want. But linear script writing is a lot easier because you have just one ending.
Right.
But I started out as a photographer,
That's what I thought. Okay.
and that helps me in my writing because having been a photographer, I think visually, I see visually, and people say that my writing is quite visual. They can see what's going on in there. So yes, I'm a visual writer, but I'm also a wordy photographer.
Right.
That
With
doesn't
all your
work out.
speaking and writing and all that you're doing with Legacy Road Communications, do you still get to take pictures? And are you still a photographer, active, or?
I don't have the equipment anymore,
Okay.
but I can still do a lot with my iPhone.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Okay, yeah, it is kind of amazing. That's true. Very good, very good. Any other lessons just kind of from either of your books or from, actually, what I want you to share, Jay, I love your phrase related to your the stories and the storytelling. You'll be today, you'll be fascinating tomorrow. Is that it? I want to make sure we get it right here with our crowd.
You might be fascinating. You might. See, you got me messed up.
I got you all
now.
messed up, yeah.
You might be very interesting today, but you'll be fascinating in 50 years.
Great. And I think that's the core of what you share, Jay. I love when you talk about that with groups. It's very true. We have to make sure that we keep our stories, that we share with others, that our loved ones, generations from now, know what we did, know what we were up to. I think that's so important.
It's how we stay connected generation to generation.
Right. And the other
That's
thing,
how
too,
it
I
is.
tell students all the time, let your parents come to your stuff. Share your story current day, just so it doesn't have to be through storytelling, but let people get involved in your life as well.
Well, it also lets them hear the stories, because people love to hear stories that are told over and over again.
Yes.
It's like little kids wanting to hear the same fairy tale over and over again.
Right.
Oh, Granddad, tell about the time this happened. And because people like the familiarity of storytelling as well.
Absolutely.
We're pretty good at it as people, but we can always be better.
Right, and that's what you're all about, is helping people get a little bit better at it. So,
Precisely.
Jay Speyerer, thank you so much. How can our audience keep in touch with you?
JaySpeyer.com, JaySpeyer.com. Pittsburgh.com.
Very good.
There are two ERs, but I pronounce only one.
Okay. Well, Mr. Past President, thank you very much for spending time with us, Jay. You're fantastic. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Up next, we have a young woman who has an amazing story to tell. This would be a good story to tell, Jay. Josie Badger's here with us. She is Miss Wheelchair USA. We're very proud that Miss Wheelchair USA is a Pittsburgh native, and we'll have her up just a minute on the show. Thanks so much.